Is this for real? The PlayStation 5 is going up again in certain regions? Oh my goodness. I mean, the scenarios are getting crazy now. You're now having scenarios where the aforementioned regular retail bundle of the PlayStation 5 is actually more expensive than the Astrobot bundle. It's coming in at $100 more than with a game. The Astrobot bundle in Europe is €399, I believe it is. And the actual digital version without a game is $499. This is just insane. What is going on here? PlayStation must be out of their rocker. They're crazy, right? That's all the stuff that you're hearing. Before you get all upset because you got a PlayStation onesie and you eat with your Herman Hulst spork, you eat all your meals with that, before you go away and get mad, that was just a teaser. Because there's more to this story than just raising prices and a company trying to be greedy. There's something going on that we've tried to warn you about for a long time now. And because you guys consistently want to play this my favorite brand game of tag and not pay attention to what's coming down the pike, you now got caught in a whirlwind. Let's talk about it. What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K of Hard Knock Digital Culture, Cloud Dosage, MM2K Gaming, back again with another episode of The Dosage. This is where we talk about the latest and greatest in video gaming news and topics and community. And man, oh man, do we have an interesting one for you today. But before we get into this one, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells. And if you are enjoying this content, or if you're a longtime follower and you really want to see things go in a good way for this platform, change that bell notification to all. I've spent numerous times trying to explain to you why you want to set it to all if you really want to get content from this platform. Otherwise, you're going to leave it in the hands of YouTube's algorithm, and I don't think that's what you want. Again, but I could be wrong. Anyway, let's get into it. So, there was a price hike that was just announced over the weekend. PlayStation seemed to do it in the stills of the night. Let's pull it up right now so we can talk about it. Let's do that. Will it bring it up? Yep, there it goes. This is given to us courtesy of Insider Gaming, which reads, Sony to increase PS5 price in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. The story continues. Sony has announced that it's going to increase the price of the PlayStation 5, PS5 in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. The announcement came via a PlayStation blog post on Sunday evening. Starting April 14th, the cost of the PS5 digital in all affected regions and PlayStation 5 physical in both Australia and New Zealand will see an increase. Sony says that the price increase is a tough decision due to a challenging economic environment, including high inflation and fluctuating exchange rates. So the new prices in the four regions are as follows. In Europe, like I said in the bumper, PlayStation 5 digital is not going to be $499, but if you go get the Astrobot bundle that comes with a game, it's $100 cheaper. In the United Kingdom, it's going to be 429 squid. If I messed that up, my fellow you Kingdom Knights, please don't attack me. This is just, I'm naive to the lingo out there. But yeah, 429 pounds. Otherwise, physical remains the same as well, just like in Europe. And in Australia, it is the physical is going up to 829 Australian dollars, and the digital was 749. And then lastly, in New Zealand, goodness gracious, it's going up to 949 New Zealand dollars, and the physical is, and the digital was going up to 859.95. All right. Cost of the PlayStation 5 Pro will remain the same, and Sony is also lowering the price of the PlayStation 5 disc drive slightly. Interesting choice. Those new prices are in Europe. It's $79.99. It's $79.99 in euros. United Kingdom is $69.99. In Australia, it's $124.95, and in New Zealand, it's $139.95. As of the publishing, it's unclear if Sony plans to increase the PlayStation 5 from other regions, such as the United States and Canada. Currently, United States planned tariffs are on a hold for 90 days. Should they be reintroduced, it could continue the up end of the same market that led to Nintendo delaying the pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the aforementioned countries. All right, let's put a pin in and discuss that. The tariffs. All right, before I get into this discussion, I want to make it abundantly clear. This is not a political finger wagging post, okay? I don't care what your politics are. I don't care who you voted for. My following message is not to promote or dismay you from any politician that is in proximity of the things that are affecting these prices, okay? For instance, and I talk about this all the time on the channel, my politics, my personal politics may or may not align with Rush Limbaugh, the late Rush Limbaugh. He was a very polarizing figure. On certain social issues, I may or may not agree with Rush Limbaugh. But when it came to gaming, his ideology was spot on. Freedom of speech, stay away from it outside of the normal protected guardrails you can put on there. Stop trying to blame everything on gaming. Stop trying to blame everything on free speech. And people just need to do a better job in regulating the things that come in and out of their house. And politicians need to stop trying to put more regulation on things that shouldn't be regulated just so they can line government pockets with more money, right? And his laser focus on that when it came to gaming helped people investigating those like Representative Yee out of San Francisco, who was trying to do all this exterminate stuff to make gaming hard to sell and games hard to sell in places like Walmart, pretty much trying to destroy the gaming industry if it wasn't something that played like Mario or Kirby. They found out that, because they were invigorated by what Rush was telling them, they discovered that Representative Yee actually was doing human trafficking and selling narcotics across the border. And he got removed. Look it up. I can't make this stuff up. So again, I don't care what anybody's politics are on this, but listen to the message. Okay. We got to keep it a buck here. This is happening because of tariffs. This is happening because these are businesses. And when it comes to gaming is the number one or the number one region for these consoles is the United States. So if they're going to be hit with all these tariffs that are going to affect the supply and demand in the US, because a lot of them make these consoles in China and the tariffs are well over 100% for Chinese products right now. China and US are in a trade war right now using tariffs against each other. That is going to heavily affect the hardware makers. Now, even if you're in a different region, it doesn't matter. I was having this conversation with my brother Coldblood, who's in Europe. It doesn't matter. Because the supply chain and the money pit in their number one region is being affected, they got to make the money up elsewhere. That's why everybody else is going to feel the burn. I don't want to use the words my brother Coldblood used because it's a lot more comical and crude, but he said something to the effects of U.S. is dripping its certain fluids all over the rest of the world. And yes, I mean, despite the crudeness of it, that's true. I'm not telling you to go to the politicians involved and say, throw them out of office. Look, you can agree or not agree with Rush Limbaugh, but you can agree with his stance on gaming. Why can't you guys go to the politicians that are in charge of this and say, look, I may agree with you on this, that, or the other. I may not agree with you. Regardless of that, when it comes to gaming, a hobby that I'm solely invested in, that's important to me, you need to be better educated. Let me tell you something. The mayor where I live recently he went to school with my wife, right? So my wife knows him pretty well. He recently made comments in regards to crime in our area, and he tried to blame it on Fortnite. I wrote him personally and put as much education in gaming as there could be. And I want to believe that because of the close proximity that he has to my wife, that impacted him no longer doing that because he stopped doing it. I think I spoke to him in a way that I felt like was effective to him, to help him understand why, and we're close to the same age. We have the same challenges, and we're trying to raise our kids in the same environments. Fortnite is not why violence is how, like we got to stop this blaming of video games. We got politicians that are talking about people are playing free games and they don't want to work. Whether there's games around or whatever, you're always going to have lazy people. It has nothing to do with games. They just don't want to work. And there's other policies that can be addressed to as far as enabling people that don't want to work, regardless of what they do in that free time when it's probably more productive for them to work. But attacking gaming should not be a winning policy. Regardless of who you vote for, what your politics are, it should not be a winning policy. And any of you on the other end of this that are sitting there thinking, well, there are bigger things important to gaming, then get your behinds off of Twitter 24/7, tweeting about who likes Xbox or who likes PlayStation. Shut up. There's nothing more important to you than gaming. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about this channel. You don't have to submit to whatever other end of the aisle that you don't want to submit to politically. It could even be somebody that you voted for. You could tell again, and I voted for the mayor. I voted for him. But I wrote his behind his quicker than you could say Fortnite. To let him know that he was egregiously wrong about that. When y'all sit there and take a backseat to something that you're heavily invested into, this is what happens. You got to speak up. You got to stop just doing this stuff on Twitter and not taking it to the direct sources and telling them, look, even if you like whoever's involved, I like you, but you're wrong here. This is having a correlation into prices being raised. Some people say, well, Moss, no, it's an excuse. And yeah, I don't doubt that as well. There's all of that happening. I don't doubt that as well. But the excuse is presenting itself. It wouldn't present itself if these scenarios didn't even exist. Are we going to continue to just be stewards and pathetic rumblers on Twitter, or we're gonna act like adults and say, look, this is my hobby. This is the most money grossing form of entertainment out there, and I'm one of the staunch supporters of it. I helped make this thing what it is. You're not gonna score political points with this. Find something else. Are we gonna finally be adults and stand up and do that? Or are we just going to take it to Twitter? The choice is yours. But as a business, whether it's PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, anybody, any of them raising the prices of their hardware now has a direct correlation to tariffs and the pricing politics behind it, whether you like it or not. Now, I know Doug Bowser came out and said on Nintendo's behalf, this is not because of yes, it is. It's ingrained in the price increase. And what they're actually doing is as well is they're having people across the globe pay for supplemental price increases that would happen to anybody regardless of tariffs and the tariffs, and they're giving Japan a break. So they're doing their own little political thing too. None of these things, there's not even a table for these things to breed on. If we make our politicians, whether we vote for them or not, paranoid about using games for political gain in a negative way. But again, maybe it's just easier for you to just go type on Twitter and make it sound like that you're doing something. Meanwhile, you're getting fleeced because you don't have the nerve to address the real problems in the world. When I say real problems, yeah, okay, this is not peace. This ain't peace in the Middle East. But again, this is the highest grossing form of entertainment that there is out there. You're contributing heavily to it, and they're continuing to fleece you and just thumbing their nose at you. What are you gonna do about it? Now's the time. Let people know. All right. And yeah, and then on top of that too, we had a 90-day hold on some of these tariffs in consoles at the time of this recording weren't included. That's a slap in the face. What are you going to do about it? But that's it from your boy. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, here's what I think. But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to Hard Knock Digital Culture, which we're reviving again over on Twitch. So definitely go check us out on twitch.tv/HNDC Hub. HNDC Hub. Go check us out. That's where our live content will be transitioning to. You can check us out on Cloud Dosage YouTube for your latest and greatest cloud gaming news. And you can check us out here at MM2K Gaming, the home of NRO podcasts on Fridays. With that said, peace. You all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. And if you want to get access to extra content, here's how you can do that. Here's how you can do that. And trust me, you will not be disappointed. What's up, people? I hope you're enjoying MM2K Gaming news content. You have a possibility to get access to even more great content, and I'm going to show you how very quickly. First and foremost, you're going to want to become a member. And you can become a member at two different levels. You can become a member at the shout out level, which is our $1.99 or $2 tier, and then you can become a member at what we call the Foamy Homie tier, which is at $3.99 or $4, depending upon where you join. So I'm going to show you how you join on YouTube. All you got to do is simply go to join right here, and then you can pick one of the two tiers, the foamed up or the Foamy Homie tier. And again, the Foamy Homie tier will give you access to everything. Just simply click on that and join, and follow the instructions from there, and then you'll get access to our members posts that we place over in the post section, where you'll get access to members content Monday through Friday. All right. And then you'll get other access to streams and things like that. Now, if joining us over here is not your cup of tea, then you can become a Patreon member. Simply go look for MM2K Gaming News at Member Plus. And then what you can do is see the membership options over there. And again, we have two tiers. We have a tier one that's similar to the foamed up tier. We got another tier, tier two that's similar to the Foamy Homie tier. But here's the crazy thing: as you can see here, those prices are crossed out, and there's even cheaper prices. All through the month of April in 2025, we are giving people access on Patreon 50% off. So you can join us on Patreon, get 50% off your subscription and get access to the same great stuff. Another thing that you can do, another awesome perk, is when you join our Discord, which is in the description below. Join our Discord. You'll also get notifications to when all of this member content goes live. You can go to our special members only notification rooms, and you'll get access to the content there. So multiple ways you can join us over at MM2K Gaming News, get access to all the great content Monday through Friday, on top of the stuff that you already enjoy. We thank you again so much for your support, and until next time, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.